What's up, guys? What's up, Inner Circle family? Good to see you, Kathy, Karen, Joan, Sean, what's up? James Smith, good to see you. Good to see you, Jen Johnson. What's going on? Is that Virgie that just switched and I lost it? Bryce and Lords and Rhonda. What's up, Neil? Good to see you. Cecilia, what is going on today? I see you. Maria, what's going on? Miles and Matt T. Becca, what is up? Hey, Christy. Good to see you guys. All right. Welcome to Inner Circle. Raise your hand if this is your first Inner Circle. Well, it is awesome to have you here. Raise your hand if you're just alumni and you've been here for a while. And then we got people in between. All right, so for those of you that are new, Inner Circle I've been doing for, I don't know, heading towards a decade. And it's been an amazing family that we've grown into, where every month we come together and I'll focus on mindset, marketing, and momentum. They're the three topics, because I believe without the right mindset, especially going through a shifting economy, shifting world, craziness in the news, if we don't have this right, it doesn't matter what you plug in. Can we agree it doesn't work, right? I mean, that's just a fact. So this is great because for me, I get to anchor in something I'm thinking about this week, or I've gone through, or I've experienced, right? To stay sharp, to stay focused, to be able to focus on and think about where our opportunities are rather than our obstacles, because there's plenty of obstacles. There's plenty of craziness and, recession and interest rates and coming out of COVID and all the things that are going on. This is our place where we stay together. This is a place we can be family, where we can focus on having an unstoppable mindset, to look through the lens of opportunity and where we can go and stay engaged and move forward. So I love this group. This has been an amazing family, and I appreciate some of you I know have been with me for like 7 years, 8 years, every single month, and it's pretty amazing. So if you're new, again, amazing group. I see all your chats coming in. So anything you want to share, I wish we were in person. I wish we were all sitting in the room next door and there was thousands of us next door. But this is how we communicate. I get to see your faces. I get to see James Smith and Dr. Steph and everybody right in front of me. And then like 10 minutes later, the screen will switch and I'll see a whole new group of people. And how do we talk is the chat. And I want to tell you, if this is your first time, these are very casual to me. I don't do it like an event and talk perfect, or like sometimes I'll write on a whiteboard, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll digress on a personal story if I think it can impact you. Sometimes I shift right in the middle, but I promise you at the end of every month when we're together, this is insanely valuable, because not just because it's coming from me, it's because I'm obsessing. I'm always in this game. I'm always working to grow. I'm always working to be a better version of myself. I'm reading obsessively. I'm meeting with Tony Robbins and so many of my other partners. We get to see where the world is going. I get to hear, every month I take what I think is the most important thing that you need to know, and I try to condense it in something that's delivered in a powerful way. So you guys up for that today? You guys up to learn, stretch, grow, anchor it in? I mean, it is definitely a crazy time. Anybody who's in Florida, sending our prayers. And if you have family in Florida, here in the States, it's been a little crazy down there. So sending love that way. So today, I want to talk about a bunch of things. But first, I want to remind all of you that if you're here, you're a part of mastermind.com. And we had, who's got Project Next? Raise your hand if you have Project Next, right? Raise your hand if you're in mastermind.com. Raise your hand if you were at the World Summit, right? That's the majority of us here. And going from the Time to Thrive Challenge, and whether you're in Mastermind or got Project Next, and whether you went to the World Summit or not, there's these next things you're focusing on, right? And I just want to make sure that you're utilizing everything inside Mastermind, because you all have access to it. So I want to take a few minutes here and just show you, Mike, if you could pull up this screen, right? This is Mastermind. I know most of you have been into this, but I wanted to show you something. This is, when you log into Mastermind, as most of you know, this is the calendar of events, right? So that's your calendar of events. Then go over to Expert Education. You go over to that column there. I wish I had the computer in front of me, but I thought about this last minute. When you click Expert Education, here's the cool part. is this is where we're going to be adding, and we'll add a brand new course for you every single month as a member. So every month, this will be a new course on something. So just want to let you know, yesterday, we have a new course coming out here in the next couple of days. We have one we already filmed. It is so cool. Scroll down, show you some of those. These are ones that are already in there, right? Scroll all the way down to the bottom. That's it, right? So these are courses that are already going in there. Go back up to the top. And we have some more coming there filmed. But you know what I decided yesterday? I reached out to Tony and I said, Tone, give me one of your killer courses. I want to put that in an upcoming month. So we got a badass course coming from Tony Robbins that'll be in here. That if you went on his website, you'd pay $297 for it or $597. You don't have to. You're a part of Mastermind. Every month we're going to upload a course. But then I was thinking, who was at the World Summit? Raise your hand if you were at the World Summit. Okay, if you were at the World Summit, day 2, Trent Shelton. Put it in the chat. On a 1 to 10, what was he on day 2? Did that just freaking blow your mind? 20, 1,000, 10,000. Yeah, look at the numbers coming in. Trent knocked it out of the park. And when you talked about don't expect other people to have the dreams you do because they have a different set of glasses on, all the things he shared was so good. So I called Trent yesterday. He's got a new course that came out. I'm like, and he's a dear friend. I'm like, hey, could I get that brand new course that you have, and can I give it to my mastermind people? And he replied, yes, let me get all the details for it. So then I called some other friends. And the cool thing about having great connections is I just want to tell you, every month we are going to upload a badass course from either us, Tony Robbins, Trent Shelton. I have a lot of cool friends in my life. So just know every month, just by being a member of Mastermind, you don't have to go and buy all these. We're going to bring you cool shit every month. Is that cool? All right, so know that you have this. If you're on here with us right now, you are a part of Mastermind, so don't forget to utilize it, okay? So every month in that section, new courses coming out. Go to the next section, accountability. Okay, we go to accountability. Now, accountability is where you went to watch me today, right? And this is where you'll see where I'm live. But scroll down. I just want to make sure you guys know, as I've been doing these for a really long time. And I even did with my beautiful wife, Lisa, not that long ago. You have access to all the past ones, right? So the previous, scroll back up a little bit, Mike. The previous 9 are right here, but there's a library of like 3 years prior. And here's what I'd say. In shifting times like this, in crazy times, when the news is insane, when people around you are starting to come unglued, right? We only have a certain amount of time in a day. And if you're going to spend time doing something, I've taught this before. I've taught it in previous Inner Circle, so I won't go in it. In times like this, I don't know if you remember, I taught it last month or the month before. What is the one thing that you have to protect more than anything in times like these? See if somebody can remember, if they remember last month. What is something? Look at that. There we go. It's coming in. It's going so quick I can't see it. We have to protect our confidence, right? And I'm not going to go into this because I shared it last month or the month before. We're going to protect our mindset, our confidence, of course, right? But what I'll share with you is one of the things, watching the news, raise your confidence, lower your confidence. Talking to negative people in your life, raise it or lower it, right? Talking to the naysayers in your life that don't have your glasses on. They're looking through theirs, thinking you're crazy, that you want more. Raise it or lower it, right? News, people, conversations, coffee talk. It's all like, want. Hell, world's going to hell in a handbasket. Interest rates are going to go up. Stock market's still crashing. Recession. Life is over. Some people are going to live in that, and I'm sorry that they do. I wish we could get to them. But some are going to live in it no matter what. They talk about wanting more. They desire more, but they're not willing to take the uncomfortable action to do more. Do we know someone like that in our lives? They will tell, right? It's unfortunate. But I just want to tell you, in times like these, that voice is going to get louder. Inside your head and the outside voice. So if watching the news or scrolling on social media, seeing all the negativity, or talking to a negative friend, or if that's going to drop your confidence, what are the things that can raise your confidence? Put in the chat, what are some things that make you feel better, more connected, more alive, that I could do it, that I could live into my full potential, that I could focus on, thank you, I see Dean, this, right? Things like this, right? So here's the cool part. What about, we have so many of these every single month, right? And I don't mess around every month. Those of you who've been on for a while, you could share every month. I don't just come on here and talk. We go deep on something every month. So what I would do is you all have access to like 3 years worth. Why not schedule one a week in your own, like go in your phone and say, I'm going to listen to an inner circle, or maybe listen to an inner circle because I'm live once a month. And then maybe one other time a month, so twice a month or 3 times a month. Pick a topic, right? They're all labeled. 5 shifts you'll need to thrive in a shifting world. The state of the industry and the Cheers framework. Why choosing to be comfortable in times of uncertainty, right? There's different ones, and then there's marketing ones, and there's mindset ones, and there's one about scaling your business. There's some about scaling your business. You could go in and look at the library and just schedule them in your phone. And go, I'm going to go once a week. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to take notes. And all of a sudden, what's better? Like geeking out on the Kardashians or watching something that empowers you, right? So there are things we must do to discipline ourselves in this shifting world, right? We'll get a marketing course. I promise you, Liz. Wait till you see some of the stuff we're going to be loading in here, right? But I promise you, there's things we must do in a shifting world, in any world, to stay engaged, because it's easy to fall back to old habits. So whether it's watching me, watching Tony, whatever it is, okay? But I just wanted to remind you guys, you have access to all of this right here, okay? Cool? Schedule it, and you're going to have a new course every month. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't feel like you got to do all of it. But man, if you got extra time, schedule it for growth. Because when do we feel the most alive? When we're growing, when we're learning, and then we'll be here to help take action, right? I don't want you to be professional learners. I want you to learn plus take the action. Okay, go to the Business Builder. Okay, so Business Builder, this is Tanner's. So these are courses he built during like the World Summit and during Time to Thrive. Go back up. This is where you'll build your course on Mastermind. Some of you have already done that. Some of you are already getting sales. Amazing. Here's the cool part. I asked the team to put it on the calendar in the next month to do a special training to go deep on this section to help you guys build your site or fine-tune the one you've already built. How's that sound? Just a surprise, just doing it. No obligation, but I asked the team to craft like a full 5-hour training, get a date on the books. We'll give you plenty of time to know, and give you another training to make sure you're comfortable with all the pieces of building your course. Because some of you are like technophobes and you haven't even tried and you think it's overwhelming. Just being honest. Some of you are thinking, I would do it if it wasn't so hard. And if I said, what's your login? You're like, oh, I forgot. I actually haven't gone there. So just saying, we've all done that. We're going to bust that to make sure you don't give up on yourself, because that little voice, Irene, I see you laughing, right? It's that little voice that goes, well, you would do this if you understood technology. It's like, but have you even logged in? Because I'm 53 and I hate technology too. This was built for me, that I need 1 + 1 = 2 to make this real, right? That's how we built this. So we will train on this. We will have a great training. So know that's coming. Look for it as a surprise, probably in the next 30 to 45 days. Cool? All right. Go to the private community. The reason. Again, every Monday. Who watches me Mondays or watches the replay of the Monday Live in the Facebook group, right? All they are that is just a quick hit of inspiration every Monday. I love that. I started doing those 4 years ago. And when I did it, I'm like, I'm going to do that for a week. And it was so good. It was so good. Now it's my Mondays. I have to craft everything around that on Monday. Mondays are my crazy day, but I make time to be in that community. Go to the extras part. My team built this extra part, and we're going to be, it's got books and journals. Go to books. So we just put some books of friends and family that we like. That first book, Millionaire Success Habits, I heard that thing's pretty good. But we put books in there from Jenna Kutcher and Ed Milet and Lisa Bilyeu's a dear friend, and it's a great book. Scroll down a little bit. So things like that. So the only reason I wanted to take a few minutes today, and you can kill that. Thanks, Mike. Only reason I want to take a few minutes and share that is because all of you have access to that. And that is at your fingertips. That is there. And sometimes we forget, because it was like, yes, if you have Project Next, go all in. If you're in Mastermind, obsess on the 30-day blueprint and all the pieces. But remember that it's not just, and I really want you to hear this, it's not just a tool to build your website. Do you guys see that? This is about being a part of a family, being part of connected. And mastermind.com, I just want to let you know, it evolves nonstop. Literally, I'm not joking. Yesterday, I called Tony, I called Trent, called a couple other friends. I don't want to say their names because I haven't talked to them yet to ask. But I was like, you know what? If we're going to add a course each month, I know you guys, I hope you like learning from me and learning from Tony. But how cool would it be to learn something from maybe Jenna Kutcher and Trent Shelton and Shalene Johnson or any of the other friends that we have? And I'm like, okay, that's a new model. Let's get friends courses. I know they'll do it as a favor for me, or if not me, I can leverage the Tony card and they'll do it for Tony, right? They'll do it for one of us. So know that that will continue to evolve. And if you forget you have that asset, you're like, oh, that's just to build the website. Yes, it's to get your course out there to start getting sales. We want to get your first sale of your entire life on the platform. But I want to train you every month on Inner Circle. I want to train you every Monday when we're live. I want to get you a new course every month and all the other things that are in here. Cool? It's at your fingertips. It's yours. All right. So today, I wanted to go over how to keep the overwhelm down and keep the momentum going. Right? We've had a lot of fun stuff happen. I see some of you are Project Next Level. Some of you are Project Next. Some of you went to World Summit. Some of you didn't. Some of you are in Mastermind. I know, but listen, we all have information overload. There's so much shit coming at us nonstop. It's unbelievable. So how do we clarify through that and focus on the needle movers? So today, I just wanted to go over a few things I think can really help in a time like this, especially so many of you are new. And remember, that saying that we've all heard a million times, you know, to get a rocket into space, 90% of the energy is getting it off the ground, right? That's why it feels so hard to get started. It's the energy. It's like it doesn't go anywhere, and then all of a sudden it lifts off. When it's in space, you click the button and it's at 1,000 miles an hour with a little bit of juice, right? But we got to get into space. And so if it feels a little heavy getting started, if it feels a little hard to switch, as Brendan Burchard said, if it feels a little icky to feel like you're starting small in something new, like you mastered this, and now I feel like a baby over here. Like we think it's imposter syndrome, or we're fearful, but sometimes we're just afraid of starting new or afraid of starting small, right? So we have to do everything in our power to keep the momentum moving forward. And whatever you got to do that, we must, but I'm here to help. I'm here for us to keep connected as a family, connected in the Facebook group, connected here in Inner Circle, connected here in the chat. I get to see, you know, everybody, Dawn and Andrea and Dorina and Jen and Deborah, right? We get to and Zena, you know, we get to meet and bond and be connected. And sometimes when you're connected to something bigger than yourself, you don't want to give up on anybody else. You don't want to let anybody down in this group. Listen, I already know there's people in your family that you probably feel like you have to dim your glow around or dim your excitement about what's going on next. That's just natural. And if we go back to Trent Shelton, what he said is, they just got a different pair of glasses on. They can't see through your lenses. That's it, right? So I'm going to share something that I shared a little bit with our Project Next Level family earlier today, like in 3 seconds. But it's something. This stuff always happens. It happened today. I have a whole breakdown here and in my journal of what I want to teach you today. But this is something that really hit me today. And I thought I'd share it with you guys because you're like family for the first time ever. And then I will create it like as a story teach, and I'll make a tool out of this. But are you guys cool when I share something for the first time? We kind of work this out together. And remember this. Everything we teach, everything we learn is valuable to somebody else. And we all have to work it out. So I'm literally going to work this out with you in person, directly together, something I just came up with through somebody else. So I was on a call with a dear friend who's a financial advisor. And I have to tell you, I know it's going to sound crazy, but I am really good. First, I'm smart with my money, but I've invested, I shouldn't say but, and most of my investments outside of my company, I reinvest a lot of my money back into the company, right? We're investing back into mastermind.com right now to take it to another level. We invest back into marketing to do events. That studio that we did the World Summit at, we have $20 million in that studio. Just not saying that to brag, Tony and I reinvest in ourselves. That's why that studio if you were at the World Summit, doesn't it feel like I mean, this is an amazing studio here too. I get to see hundreds of you at once. That one we just went bigger and wider and higher, and we bought the building, and because we want to reinvest into an experience. Roger, I see you shaking your head. I don't want you to feel like you're on a little Zoom screen. It's like, if I'm hanging out with Tony and Dean, I don't want to be on a Zoom screen. We want you to feel the energy, hear the music, and be a part of it, and like pull you into our world. And if you want to bring your family, they're like, hey, this is pretty cool, Dad, or this is pretty cool, husband, or right. So we love to reinvest back in our companies. We love to invest, this is both Tony, into companies, startups, and people that we see something just amazing in, and sometimes they need the money to go, and we wish, when we were broke and had ideas and nobody would invest in us, so Tony and I tend to invest in way too many companies. That I'm just going to be completely transparent, because if I invest with my heart, I want to give everybody money. It's like, because I was there. I remember being, Marie, I see you shaking your head. Like, I see it. If I see hope in someone's heart, my team is like, somebody's here to see you. I think they want you to invest. I'm not letting you meet them. It's like, no, please send her in. Like, I'll just talk to her for 5 minutes. And then we leave. It's like, you invested, didn't you? I'm like, she's so sweet. And it's such a good idea, right? So I have to tell you, I'm kind of shitty on the, like, investing in the right way. I invest with my heart, right? So this is what the inner circle is about, guys, just being honest with you. And I don't care if you have $5 to invest or $5 million. It's all the same. It's all relevant to you. So invest in my company. That's one of my favorite things, is going back in and making it bigger. And that's what I want to teach you guys as we evolve, is you start by getting your first sale. Then you go to your next sale. Then we go to consistent sales, and then it's a business. And the profits feed the front to get more people, and it becomes a big circle, right? So I invest in way too many companies. I bet you I'm in 50 companies right now. A lot of small startups. And I invest in real estate, because I've been doing real estate forever. Why am I telling you this whole thing? Because I was on with this financial advisor today saying, hey, Dean, you gotta get, and this is what he called it. He said, you have to create an investment policy statement. That's it. I'm not teaching about investing today. I'm telling you, but you have to, and okay, I'm also the same way on contributions. Like, who's at the World Summit? Like, Stu talked about how he's building schools in Africa, and I'm like, and my team's like, yes, and this next one, and they told me how they were building, and I donated 60 grand to Stu while we were on stage, right, to build 3 classrooms of his new thing. My team's also like, hey, you gotta pick one. Like, every time a charity hits your heart, you just put money out. Do you know how much? I don't even know how much I gave this year. 2 years ago, the team brought me a number like, ooh, we did that? Sorry. So this advisor who's a friend said, Dean, I just got to get you dialed in here. You got to create your investment policy statement. So for your future, no matter if you have, again, 5,000 or 500,000, 5 million, $5. Please know that I'm not saying it to, but it's a pretty cool concept. And what he said is, what is your investment policy statement while you're alive, right? Do you want to put 10% to charity? Do you want to put 10% to startups and new business, 20% into real estate if you want to do real estate, and maybe the rest is your 401k and stocks or ETFs or just investing in the S&P 500 or whatever it is, right? I'm not trying to get fancy, just whatever that pie is. He said, create it and then stick to it. You say you want to give 10% or 20% of your money away to charity. When you get to 20% for the year, it goes to red, you stop. If you say you want to put 10% into companies and it gets to 10%, you stop, right? And he said, then your team doesn't have to wonder. That's why they're always asking you. You're all over the place. With that, let's get some clarity. And he also said, you should create one because you might do this while you're alive. Like, I put a lot of our money, so does Tony, we put it back into our company to build studios and better product and mastermind. We'll probably put $1 million in mastermind over the next several months to take that to another level, right? He said, but if you passed away tomorrow, would you want your kids and your wife to invest the same way? It's like, ooh, that's a different thought. I don't know if they should invest in real estate because that's kind of my thing too. So I'd say no real estate investing. How about these new companies? No, because I get to influence those companies. You won't. So do you understand like the concept of this investment policy statement, right? So you're like, what the hell? I didn't come on Inner Circle to learn how to invest, right? I learned how to make money so I can invest more. I get it. But what came out of it, as he's talking, I'm like, hey, and this is something I'm going to work on and I'll clarify it. Thank you, Sonia, for saying that. I hope you got something out of that. But this is even more important. I thought to myself, if we're going to have an investment policy statement, we should have, I wrote this down, we should have a success, where the heck did I write this down? Oh, I think I wrote it down on my other piece of paper. We should have a success policy statement. Write that down, a success policy statement, right? And what the hell does that mean? Okay, this is what I mean by that. I was like, ooh, what if we had a criteria, and then I'm going to go through some things that I actually wrote down to teach today. I said, but what if we had a criteria that was, hey, Mike, could you bring me that paper that's right there? I wrote it down before, and I didn't think I brought it out. This is how new it is. This is literally my notes from today. Everybody, can we give it up for Mike Morabi? He does all this behind the scenes. Mike's been with me for how long? 17 years. Give it up for Mike Morabi. Okay, this is how new it is. I literally wrote this down today. And this poor guy is giving me this, he's pouring his heart into me how to create all this cool things for my family. And in my head, I'm like, oh, I could create a tool out of this. That's how my brain works. And I'd love to give that to you. Like there's things in life you'll see and you're like, oh, I got to teach that. Story, teach, tool. So if we talk about it, what did I just tell you guys? Did I just tell you a story, a scene in my life? I did the whole thing in 5.5 minutes about me being on with the financial advisor. But didn't it become more real because I told you why I was doing the whole thing, right? And so then it's like, well, what the hell is that? And then I came up with, why don't we craft our success policy statement? Meaning, this is how I can be successful. Like this is my statement to myself that I can look at on a regular basis, right? For any area of your life. So when it comes to success, do we have to allocate the time and schedule it? Is that true or not true? Do we have to allocate time and schedule it, right? So the first thing I wrote down, again, this is nowhere except in my sloppy notes right here. I didn't even have it in my journal yet because I didn't have a journal in front of me. The first thing I wrote is we have to put the time in / schedule. So write that down. So you can put it in your chart, time and schedule. And then I was thinking, we might schedule the time, right? Go to the whiteboard. Alexis, I probably am going to do that. You know what? Could you bring the whiteboard out? You know, I have the thing with whiteboards. We're gonna flush this out. But I really thought through this. And the second thing, and then I will write them down so you guys can see it because I don't have a slide or anything for you, is we might schedule the time schedule it time, but what is our effort level? Sometimes you say, I'm going to spend an hour on my business. I'm going to spend 2 hours on my business. But are you really putting the flow, immerse yourself in going all in? I watch people who say, yeah, I worked 2 hours on it and I didn't really get it done. And while they check their email twice, do you ever see somebody who doesn't even realize they're checking their Instagram or checking their Facebook and then they're looking at emails and then they put it down and like, yeah, so I gotta dial in this, what is this, solution statement? Oh, well, honey, hold on. And you go do that and then you go do this. Did you really put the right effort in? So let's go here, right? So your success policy statement. Success policy statement. Number 1, time, schedule. Number 2, your effort. A 1 to 10. So, effort. So the reason I wrote this down is, think about, I said this, but if you're going to schedule the time, schedule it. Burn the boats, go all in. But you also have to have a level of effort where you're like, I am going all in. Like this hour that I've dedicated is 100% committed. Kids, I need to be selfish for an hour. Husband, wife, I need to be selfish for an hour so I can serve our family at a greater level. Computer, you got to go off. Social media, you got to go off. Or, computer off meaning social, shut all your tabs and go in and say, okay, for this 1 hour, focused effort, right, Gigi? For this 1 hour, I am going all in and I'm going to crush this solution statement. Or for this 1 hour, I am going to lay out all my modules of the course. And I'm not just going to lay out what I'm going to do, I'm also going to lay out the benefit of each course. Like, we must look and create a blueprint for ourselves, because when it gets into your DNA, you'll know is like, I would rather have you focused and dedicated for an hour every other day than 3 hours every day of diluted, non-focused 1 foot out, right? Nothing works with 1 foot out the door. None of you have ever been in a relationship that was intimate, passionate, and connected and friends if you had 1 foot out the door. You're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? And it's kind of the same thing when you dabble. Like, you're dabbling and your brain's going, let's see if this works, while you're dabbling, and then when it doesn't work, you're like, I knew it. I knew this wasn't for me. I knew it was too old for this, or who would listen to me, you know? And then you start telling yourself, shit, listen, I watched all your laughs when I said, there's some of you who are already saying the technology to build your site's too hard, and you haven't even tried. If you knew how many people laughed when I said that, thumbs up, Audrey, like, so many of you are like, right? So we do that shit. That's a habit. Some of you will say, I was going to do this thing with Tony and Dean and sell what I know, but I don't think anybody wanted to learn yoga from me. But you never got your site up. You never committed to it, never did your solution statement, never worked on it, never went into mastermind.com. You're like, but nobody wanted to buy from me. Bullshit. That's a story you tell yourself to feel better that you let yourself down again. Simple as that. Nothing like being harsh and being true. I see Angela G laughing, right? Sonia. Like, sometimes we just got to say it like it is. We don't have to make it better than it is, but we don't have to make it worse than it is, and we got to stop telling ourselves shitty stories. So, if you're going to schedule the time, why not go all in for a shorter period of time? And here's what I want to share. I didn't plan on sharing this today. I'm making this up as I go, but I'm going to make this into one of my tools because I love it. I'm going to have my investing statement, or my investment statement, and I'm also going to have my success policy statement. Also, there are certain things that you do that can get you into a better state of mind. Cecilia, you know what I'm talking about? Cyrene, Elizabeth. There are certain things. For example, I don't drink coffee. I did for a little while. I didn't for my whole life, and my wife loves coffee. I love the way it smells. Oh my God, who loves the smell of coffee? But if you could tell my energy, when I drink coffee, I'm just destroyed. I can't. Like, I fall apart. I'm not good with caffeine. I can do green tea. That's just enough. Anything over that, it's just not good, right? Priming with Tony, exactly. Gigi, I love the smell of coffee, and my wife got me hooked for a while. I went about a year doing coffee, and then I just couldn't anymore. But I still love the smell. But I do green tea. That's what's in my cup right here. But I have to tell you, I'll sip on this all day, 1 cup of green tea. But when I'm going to get in flow state, I love to have a water, I love to have a green tea, and I love to play like, I'm not good with music because my kids are like, why don't you have a kick-ass like library of music? I'm calling it a library, it's something else. Like your playlist, there we go. Playlist on Spotify. And it's like, oh man, I still go to Pandora and I type in spa music or meditation music. You know why I go to Pandora? Because I went to Pandora a decade ago and it's still on my phone, right? Like music like this. So I will type in like spa or meditation music. And if I play that low in the background, low, really low, barely hear it, with a tea and a water, and there's nobody around me, man, that starts to trigger me to get into my flow. Right? It starts to trigger me and I start thinking innovative and creative. And if I get in that spot, man, I can do more in an hour, hour and a half than most people can do all day. That's just for me. You get in the zone. That's right. Right? That's how I get in my zone. I don't know what yours is. Maybe it's 10 o'clock at night after everybody goes to bed. For me, my other best time of my day, the best time of my day. It's what I look for every day. I'll just be completely transparent with you guys. All I do is work, be a dad and a husband. There's nothing else in my life, and I'm the happiest guy you'll ever meet. I love to work. I get up right now, I wake up, it was 5 o'clock a.m. forever. Something triggers, I'm getting older, weird shit's happening in my 50s. I wake up at 4 or 4:05 every day. I don't know what the hell it is. It's like my cortisol must spike, so I'm going with it. I'm just leaning into it, right? But there's this morning time for me. Right now, I have this routine. I get up, I do a green drink. I've been doing the same kind of green drink forever. I do a green drink and some lemon and some MCT oil and a couple other things, and I down that. And then right now, I go for a walk. And if I walk about 2 miles from my house, it's a hill, and I watch the sun come up every day right now. Like I could put myself in that space. And if I do this every day and I sit, I watch the sun come up, I pray a little, I practice a little gratitude. Sometimes I stay a little longer, do some work, but I got this beautiful spot. And then I walk down to my house and I go work out in the gym for 40 minutes. If I do that, man, do I set up my day for success, right? It sets me up in this innovative, creative way, and I try. So the truth is, the reason I get up so early, and I hope you guys don't mind me sharing this, because we all have our shit. We all have family. We all have routines. We all have responsibilities. We all have other people in our life. The truth is, when my kids are with me every other week, right? My daughter has to be at school at 7:20, my son at 7:50. And I still want to fit in my morning routine, but I still make them lunches every day in front of them while we're on the kitchen counter. And I still cook them breakfast, even though my wife wants to do it. I love to do it because they're 15 and 13, my older ones, and they're not going to be here forever. So the only way I can make them breakfast, make them lunch, and take them both to school. I take one, I come back, I go take the other one, then I head into the office here. The only way I can do my morning routine is that's why probably I'm getting up at 4. Because I can't fit it in getting up at 5:30. There's just not enough time to do it all. So I just said, screw it, and I get up at 4:30, right? And maybe some of you say, not enough sleep. That could be true, but it's that important to me because I have a better day if I drink that green drink, take that walk, watch the sun come up, and work out. You know what I'm saying, Angela? Like, that sets me in a tone where I'm like, let's go. Let's freaking do this day compared to getting up late. So I'm taking a long time to share how important these moments are, whatever they are, because I set that morning up, and then when I set my work time or my flow state or my innovative state, my tea, my water, the music, even if it's an hour, I go all in on that hour. And I would just, that's, so that for me, and you could adjust your success policy statement any way you want, but this is how I looked at it. The next one is the education, the learning. What is it that what are you going to learn? What are you going to go through module 2 again of Project Next Level? Are you going to go through the modules of the 30 days in Mastermind? Or are you going to go back and, you know what, I'm going to watch Dean's training on marketing or how to do a challenge. Oh my God, Dean did a big challenge. I want to do one in Facebook. I lay out the whole thing in an inner circle. You just go back and find it. It might be in your course, but it's also in there. I lay out the whole model. So you might say, oh, I'm going to schedule it next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. I'm going to do it from my favorite library, or I'm going to do it from home. I'm going to go hide in the bedroom. I'm going to go outside under the oak tree. I don't know where it is. And I'm going to go all in for 90 minutes. And I am going to watch how to do a mini challenge. And I'm going to do my first challenge. So I'm going to go all in. I'm going to schedule it. I'm going to give a 10 effort. And I'm going to watch that training on how to do a challenge. Or I'm going to watch that training on how to build a better relationship, the one I did with my wife. Or I'm going to watch one on confidence, courage, overcoming anxiety. There's 3 years worth of trainings. There's courses that are going to come in every month. So if you schedule it, if you give it a 10 effort and you learn from someone who's already been there, that's part of your success plan. You guys got that? Right? Then the next one, then I thought to myself, what could screw all of that up? If you know anything about me, what could screw all of that up? I want to see the first person that puts it in the chat. It's a big, wide question. Fear, yourself, social, procrastination, squirrel, mindset, mindset, self-doubt. You guys know me and you know the world so much. Nora, I see you laughing. What could screw this whole thing up are your thoughts. And you could put that in all the words that you're saying, the fear, your emotions, right? Distractions, imposter syndrome, all of it though are your thoughts. So in the success policy statement, what I would say is we must be a better, more obsessive observer of our thoughts. We got to be. We got to be the thanks, Ryan. We got to be the obsessive observer in our thoughts, especially, okay, I know I talk about this a lot, but how often you got to go to the gym to be in shape? All the time, right? We know these are crazy times. We know the media is just batshit crazy, for lack of a better word. Like, if it was the media's job to try to separate a country, especially here in the States, and I know it's the same all over the world, they're doing a damn bang-up job of trying to make us seem like we're all different when we are way more alike than we are different. Can we agree? We are way more alike than we are different. Maybe there's 5% on either side that are extremes that you wouldn't want over for Thanksgiving dinner, but most of us are way more alike, right? We have to protect our thoughts right now more than ever before in history because there are so many distractions. We have information overload. We have negativity overload, right? So we have to be the observer of our thoughts because we are nothing more, you know this, than the sum total of our thoughts. That's it. We're nothing more than our thoughts. Wake up today and say, with all the crazy shit going on, I should just be happy where life is. Why the hell would I want to teach what I know or sell a course and have to learn marketing? And then, then inflation's going to turn into recession and nobody do that shit anyway. You know what? Why would I even do that? Or you wake up the next day and say, no, I'm going to crush what I'm doing right now, but I'm meant for more. I'm designed to serve other people. I'm designed to make this a business. I'm designed to make money from home. I'm designed to live into my full potential. I'm designed to impact the world. Someday I'm going to be on stage at the Mastermind World Summit. I'm going to be partners with Dean. I'm going to be a coach for Dean or Tony, or I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. We have two different people living inside of us all the freaking time, two different thoughts all the time. Talk about split personalities. We are. We all got two voices. We have to observe which one is screaming the loudest, and if it's the wrong one, we have to shut him up, or shut her up, shut that voice up, because that would throw all this out the window. Because with the wrong thoughts, what do you say? I don't really have the time. When am I going to schedule that shit in? I don't have time. I get up, I get my kids, they got to be at school at 7:20. How the hell could I work out in the morning? I got to be at 7:20. I got to take a shower. I got to get ready. I got to eat breakfast. What am I just going to get up at 5? Yeah. Yeah. One brain says, how the hell am I going to do it? The other brain says, I must, and I will. Is this kind of making sense? Does it happen sometimes or freaking all the time? Right? If your thoughts are wrong, you're like, I've been in this mastermind thing. I've been putting an hour in a day for 2 months. Ain't shit happening. This ain't happening for me. But if you really audited the 2 months, you're kind of dabbling, kind of Googling other crap, kind of reading through it. The parts that feel a little uncomfortable, you skip. Like, I got to do that. Oh, I'll just go over here. It feels more fun to design my logo. Right? Like, we got to not see it worse than it is and not see it better than it is. We have to see it as it is. Have we really been putting in the effort? If your thoughts are off, it's like, no, I went through that education. I went through most of Project Next. I think I got to module 3. It was pretty cool. It's like, really? It's like, I went to the gym, I worked out for like 8 minutes, and I do not have six-pack abs. That gym is useless. Gyms suck. They don't work. I went there for 6 minutes. I talked to a friend for 3. I got my latte. I walked on the treadmill for 8 minutes, and I am not in the shape I was when I was 25. Screw gyms. They suck. But that's what our brain tells us. Thank you, Diana. Right? Thank you for all the cool messages coming in. Right? Hey, guys, I want to say something. I'm not done. I got a couple more. Right? But I want to share something with you. I'm not exaggerating. You see it's written on the corner of this paper. I came up with this today, because of my meeting. And I'm just working this out with you. And I want to give you the gift of putting in the time so you can be this comfortable of realizing, what did I do? I told you a story. We all know story, teach, action, right? I gave you a story, which was true, that happened this morning at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. I was on the phone with my financial guy, Devang, for 1 hour talking about this. And the last 15 minutes, I kind of went squirrel thinking, this could be a success statement for me, for my team. this could be a policy statement of success. So I did squirrel out a little bit. I started thinking about it. I wrote it on this piece of paper, and now I told you a story, and I'm just teaching these different points. And the action is simply do these things. On a scale of 1 to 10, is this brand new thing valuable to you? Honest and truly, right? Is it valuable, right? It's new. It's not perfect. Thank you for all the beautiful comments coming in. But I want to give you that same gift. There are things that you do in the niche that you're going to serve that you discover every day that are this valuable, but you haven't yet recognized the value of each one. If I created the Success Policy Statement mini course, I promise you I could sell 50,000 of them at 197 bucks. Right? I know, I've worked my way up there. I have a following now, I get it, but it wasn't always there. But I looked through the lens of value in education, value in shortcuts, value of creating a framework. All I'm sharing today is things you've already heard from me. You've already heard from Tony. But what have I done with them today? I just gave you a framework, right, Roger? Like, I just put it in a framework. So now, if you guys want to use it, you don't have to. But when you get done today, you're like, I got this new framework. I am creating my success policy statement, and here's what it looks like. And I'm going to look at it every day for the next 30 days. By the time we come back and we're together for next Inner Circle, what if you created it and you just looked at it every day? Didn't even have to change your life. Just you wake up in the morning, whatever routine you have, wake up 3.5 minutes early and read the whole thing. Say, you know, it's true. I got to schedule it this week. I haven't done crap on my business this week. I'm going to schedule it this week, right? I kind of dabbled. I dabbled yesterday. Wasn't really full effort. Today, full effort, right? You know, I keep reading the shit that makes me feel good, but not the stuff that's the uncomfortable action I got to take. I'm going to go through module 3, or I'm going to go through the marketing module, or I'm going to go back through this, or I'm going to go explore mastermind. I'm going to get my course up, right? Whatever that is, like, right? And then the last is, what are the thoughts that are either driving this or stopping it? And then the last part is the action. And this, to me, is always connected to your why. I'm not going to go deep on why. This family knows my 7 levels deep. You know the why. But then none of this works without this. None of it works without the action. You can schedule it. You can have a high effort. You can have education. You can have good thoughts. But if you don't do, knowledge alone is worthless. Knowledge plus action gives us the results that we desire. Right? All right, come on over. Now, I'll share a little bit of what I actually was going to share with you guys today. But I'm glad I got to share this with my family, because this is something I'm going to create one for my investing, and I'm going to create one like this that I will look at. Just so you know, this isn't stuff I just vomit up to you guys just because I'm trying to fill some time. This was so surreal to me. It was so like, oh my God, that we all need a plan. Like my company, in a company, anybody ever hear SOP, standing operating procedure? You understand what that means? In a company, there's a standing operating procedure for every time we go live with you guys, right? Every time we go live, Mike's been with me for 17 years. He has to get all the Zoom rooms. I mean, it's before that. The team has to write you 2 or 3 emails and send them to you so you don't forget. And they got to load those emails in, right? And then we have to load a text message in, because some people don't open their email, so we want to text you as well. Right? And then we got to create a screen, and then we got to get all the Zoom rooms ready. Each of you, some of you are in different Zoom rooms, and we have to have teams to moderate each Zoom room when we do this. We have to turn on all this stuff and adjust the lights and turn on the cameras. And got a camera guy sitting behind right now who's filming me. I got monitors in front of me so I can see, you know, what's going on or what I'm going to talk about. Nobody guesses on that anymore. There's a standing operating procedure. Every month when we go live for Inner Circle, Talay, who's on our team, who's in social media, you know what she does? What helps me determine what I'm going to teach? She goes in and pulls, and she printed me a stack this big, every month she does, of comments and thoughts you guys have in the group, in the mastermind group. So it's like, hey, I'm losing my mojo. I need, she'll take it. She goes, this month, you really got to talk about implementation and not having overwhelm and moving forward, because that's kind of the theme I think people are feeling. That's why I chose this. But none of those things happen on their own. It's not just like, oh, what are we going to do today? It's like There's a process, a standing operating procedure that got us here right now. There's 5,000 of us here right now, and another 10,000 will watch this video over the next week. When we're done today, some people were at work. I wish everybody could be here live. Isn't it fun being here live? Those of you watching the replay, get your ass here live next month, right? But there's a standing operating procedure that happens after this. When it gets done, the team takes it. They put it up on the back office. They have to craft an email, send it out to everybody, and say, if you missed it, go watch the replay. So if we're going to have, but that's every part of the company. When we do a launch, when we do the Mastermind World Summit, everything we do, there's a process and a system, right? So we might as well have a standing operating procedure, a success statement policy, a success policy statement for us to get the success that we want, because it's not going to happen on its own. Success doesn't just find you. Just being honest, it doesn't. Never does. I've never seen it in the history of the world. Nobody stumbles on getting wealthy. There's no magical money machine. There's no way to live a fulfilled, happy life with abundance, joy, focusing on gratitude without putting in the work. You have friends that put in the work for 5 minutes and you see them on a high, and then they fall back to old habits and they're miserable again. It's like, because it takes the work, right? You know people who have tried 27 different businesses and they're like, this one doesn't work either. No, you didn't work it. It can't have 27 bad businesses. There can't be 15 bad relationships. It doesn't mean you're bad. It means you got to change what you're doing, right? We have to shift it up. Listen, I love my dad. Love my dad. But my dad, every marriage he went into, he still got the same pattern. I already know that if my dad, if he keeps doing, he's 86, and never know, he might get married again, right? Who knows? But my dad, I feel sad because my dad, I love him to death and he's an incredible man, but he doesn't even see when he goes into a relationship, he follows the same model that didn't work with my mom 50 years ago when it ended. And didn't work with his next relationship, and didn't work with his second, and didn't work with his third, and it didn't work with his fourth, right? And that's so personal, and it seems like I'm being mean to my dad. I'm not. He just falls back into what he's done before. So in order for us to get out of what we used to do, because if our best thinking got us here, what do we need to go to the next level? We need new thinking, don't we? And if our best capabilities got us to here, what do we need to get to the next level? Next level capabilities. And if next level thinking is what we need, and next level capabilities is what we need, then what's the next thing we have to do? We got to take next level action, and at that phase we have to call it next level uncomfortable action. Because the comfortable action is what keeps you where you are. The uncomfortable action is what pushes us to that next level. And that equals next level results. I'm not trying to oversimplify this, and I'm not trying to make it sound like you're not facing obstacles or challenges or self-doubt, but and so many of us have it. Look to the screen to the left, look to the screen to the right. Everybody feels it. But why do some people succeed? Because they work on this crap. Dig under the hood of every successful person. I think when you're young and you see somebody successful, anybody ever think when you were young, just be honest, you see somebody really successful and you're like, they had something the rest of us didn't have. Like, isn't that like that intuition, like, they must have had it easier. Somebody probably lent them money to start that business. Oh, they're probably good with technology. Oh, they're an extrovert. So easy for them to talk. Like, we all give that crappy story to ourselves. It's our subconscious giving us permission why maybe we didn't take the action that someone else did, right? We think that, but it's all BS. We're all dealing with crap. We are. And we're all dealing in a world right now that's more divided than ever before. And we're all dealing with prices that went up. We're all heading into a recession. We're all dealing with all of it. But why do some people still reach massive success, impact others, just light a room when they walk in, fill the air with positivity? Why? Because they do the work when no one's watching. That's just a fact. They do the work when no one's watching. This is the work. This is the work we do when no one's watching. Right now, we're doing the work. Right? When you're in a better mood today, who's going to be a little bit more optimistic today than you were yesterday? I see you, Linda. I see you, Donna Kennedy. What's up, Donna? Good to see you, right? And I'm not saying it's me. It's the collectiveness of all of us coming together today. It's the collectiveness of being a part of something bigger than yourself today. It's the collectiveness of seeing where life can go rather than where it won't go. It's to see the open door rather than the closed door, to see the opportunity, not the obstacle. And we got to work on this shit all the time. All the time. And if we get this right, you know, Tony said this, and I feel the same way. When I was in my 20s, I would say it was 20% mindset, 80% give me the tool that can make me the money and make me happy. Now that I'm 53, it's the other way. Give me a kick-ass mindset, give me positivity, and give me any freaking opportunity and I'll crush it. Any opportunity, I'll crush it. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather give, let's say there's an A opportunity. Would you rather give an A opportunity, like this thing's gonna crush, to a C person, or would you rather give a C opportunity to an A person? Who's gonna succeed? Who's gonna succeed? Yeah, you got that right. How many of you have someone in your life, it's like, if you just do this, if you just stop hitting your thumb with that hammer, your thumb will not hurt anymore. And they're like, but I don't understand. I don't understand why it hurts. It's like, oh my God, right? We all have that person in our lives. We've all been that person in certain circumstances in our lives, right? So think about that. Everybody said it right. I would rather give a C or D opportunity to an A player, because what will an A player do? Where they don't have resources, they will be what? Put in the chat. Where they don't have resources, they will be resourceful. That's right, Matt, Michelle, right? Resourceful. We all have to be resourceful. But again, if you know anything about me, I love going upstream. Where does resourcefulness come from? Oh, we got to have a direction and a path. Oh, I got a direction and a path, but how do I stay in that? Oh, I got to have confidence. Got to keep my confidence up. But what supports confidence? Not falling into old stories, not having self-doubt. Where does that come from? Making sure I surround myself with things that don't let that story that I observe my thoughts and I witness them, because a shitty thought will lead to self-doubt, which will lead to low confidence, which will lead to imposter syndrome, which will lead to you going, maybe it's not my time. Right? So just think, when you're feeling it's not my time, when you're feeling I should give up, when you're feeling like this is for other people, step it up and say, why am I feeling like that today? And really sit with it. It's because, you know, I'm just kind of feeling older today, or feeling like I'm not sure I can really dive into this. Well, why am I feeling that? Why am I feeling that? Like the 7 levels deep, keep asking why. I promise you, you'll hit on some crappy ass story, or some shit, someone that, excuse my language, but some crap that someone told you 2 days ago, like, really? Lisa, you're gonna start something new now? Don't you have a pretty good career? Right? Isn't your career pretty good? Why the hell would you, Thelma, why would you wanna do this? Is that really something you wanna do? Right? And then then that spiral goes down the road, and all of a sudden, you're playing small, going, should I go to that inner circle? I don't know if I wanna get all pumped up, and right? So this is why I'm here every month with the Inner Circle. This Inner Circle has been such an amazing group. I have to tell you, I've shared this before, but it's true. I think, Mike, are we like 7 years in, 8 years in? Something like, it's 7 or 8. I say 5, sometimes I say 10. I think it's 7 or 8. But I first started it. We launched it at $97 a month. When we first launched this, and the team was like, I think that's too cheap. We should, for your time, it should. And I said, let's just launch it and help everybody, and then we'll see where we go. And then I never changed it. And sometimes I offered people at $47 for a discount, but this was a $97 a month program for years. And I have to tell you, it's been so rewarding to me, because it's built this family. It's allowed me to every month sharpen the skills that I want to share. It's allowed me to talk more on camera, to feel more comfortable, to feel like I can go on a whiteboard and just scribble. And it's turned into an amazing family. And I just want to remind you that this is yours. You're in it. And now, for half of what we used to sell just Inner Circle for, you guys are in. A lot of you are on the free trial, but you guys are in. And not only you get Inner Circle, a new course a month, all these other pieces, it's part of a family. We just wanted to create something where you can stay plugged into, you can stay engaged. When you need a hit of inspiration, you're here. When you want to learn marketing or learn any of this, you're here and you're a part of something. Because it's easy when you're on an island to give up. And it is a big family. And I love the opportunity for us to come together every month. Here's what I'd say. I did not share anything today that was on my list, but that's what was on my heart today, and I got to teach this. But I want to share with you that as you get into this industry more, And I see some of the faces on here that I know are making sales, and I know your course is selling on Mastermind, and I'm sure there's some wondering if you're going to do this, and there's some in the middle, either you're halfway through, there's some in Project Next Level, you're ready to crush it, you're all different places. But here's the thing, remember, wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. And the only person you have to be better than is the person of you last week. And remember, we always have a gap from where we are to where we want to be. If you sold your first course, you want to get to your second one. If you're selling 10 a week, you want to get to 20. If you haven't got your first one yet, you want to get your first one. We all have a gap. We just got to fill the gap with capabilities, action, the right thoughts, schedule it, the right effort, the right learning. And the result is it's impossible. You know, it's impossible not to get to where you want to go. I told you what I love now, the word that is the only word in the English language. It guarantees success. I've been saying it way too much, but I'll remind you as we end this here today is persistence. That's right, Jen Johnson. First one to say it. If we persist, we will succeed. If you decide this isn't your industry, I totally get it. But then take this same fortitude, the same mindset, the same success blueprint and apply it to something. Just go all in on something. Just stop dabbling. When you go shallow on 10 things, it never works. Relationships don't work. Success doesn't work. Nothing works. Diet, exercise, nothing works when you go shallow. The only time something works is when you commit, you go all in, you schedule it, and you do it. I want it to be the self-education industry, but I'm not selfish. I just want you to be the best version of yourself so at the end of our lives, we can look in the mirror and go, I crushed that. I crushed that. Not, I wish there was more time. Guys, thank you for being such an amazing family. I appreciate you so much. Let's stay engaged. Let's stay connected. Remember, you got mastermind.com. All of you, get in there. Schedule old inner circles. I'm going to work really hard to get Trent's course. It'll be Trent's or Tony's or somebody's, but every month will be a kick-ass course. We'll keep updating it. We love you guys. Appreciate you so much. I'll see you in a month. Bye, everybody.